Hi everyone, this is Kit, and I'm going to be reviewing Chapter 5 of our Eucharist unit. At the end of the lesson, this will be the halfway point for the entire unit, so congratulations. And today's chapter is going to really focus on the liturgy of the word. So let me go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see the lesson plan as I review it. All right. Here we go. Okay. Chapter 5, we learn from the Bible. We have lesson goals identifying God's word as the readings and teachings in the Bible, to describe the importance of preparing our hearts for God's word, and to recall that we hear God's word at Mass in the liturgy of the word. You can see from the picture, we're going to be focusing on a parable of Christ's. And of course, it will be the parable of the sower, which makes a lot of sense given that we're focusing on the liturgy of the word. So as you begin, with your opening prayer from the activity sheets, you're going to start the kids kind of considering the lesson theme with a brainstorming activity where on the whiteboard you can have a listening column and a not listening column, and the kids are going to brainstorm kind of signs that they know someone is listening to them and signs when they know someone is not listening to them. So obviously eye contact, sitting still are like signs of listening, sometimes nodding head if you're in conversation, sometimes being able to, paraphrase what you've heard. Those are all signs of listening. Whereas signs of not listening would be like not making eye contact, being fidgety, literally like playing on a phone or something. So you should hear those kind of ideas from the class. And that prefaces going into the featured story, which is again going to be the parable of the sower. So you'll, of course, check out the artwork, have the kids kind of predict what they're going to be hearing about based on the artwork and the other big parts. And you're going to be reading the featured story, which is just a segment. And there's some review questions for them, the understand it section, which will kind of specifically connect the fact that the parable is representing something more than just seeds and soil. So that's what the understand it section will really help you to articulate. And then the live it section and tell it section, going into the core learning activity for this lesson. So the core learning activity is actually planting seeds in a cup. So we have cups, like little Dixie cups. And if you want, I could probably even grab seeds from home. I have bajillions of seeds. This is a fun activity. It's very tactile. It is messy, so it's up to you guys whether or not you want to go this route for your lesson. If you need soil broad or anything else, just let me know. But this is a nice way of helping the kids prepare to digest the parable. So as you can see below here, you're asking the kids like why it's important that the soil is good. Are we using good soil? Are we using sandy soil, rocky soil, etc.? And have a conversation about developing the soil in the pot as a reflection of developing the soil of our hearts for God's word to sprout in us. Now, if you don't like this activity, there's a few others that it has. Simon Says, and playing it so that there isn't the disqualification consequence of getting it wrong, that people can continue to play in the game. And of course, that's about listening well. So the idea is to make it a little bit harder as the game goes on. You can redo the parable in a skit as another example. And of course, there's always a video option for the core learning activity. So you can kind of choose what you would like to do. And then, of course, the focus of this lesson is going to be reviewing the parts of the Mass in general. That's important for them to know: introductory rite, liturgy of the word, liturgy of the Eucharist, concluding rites. And then you're going to be focusing on the liturgy of the word specifically. You're going to be talking about, it's in bullet forms here: first reading, responsorial psalm, second reading, and gospel reading. And this should also articulate that the liturgy of the word includes the homily as well as the profession of faith, which immediately comes after the homily, and the prayers of the faithful. I think that those will be in this section as well, but you're going to be concluding. You can talk about that, but we're going to be getting into the prayers of the faithful next week. So I was just doing a little bit of a teaser apparently for you guys. So as always, there's a lesson wrap up here that should reiterate those core learning objectives that I described in the very beginning. There's closing prayer, which is going to, I believe, replicate the prayer of the faithful. So kind of, again, preparing for next week and continuing our focus on the liturgy of the word. And that gets us to the end. Let me stop sharing. Again, if you need any of these supplies, just let me know. I'll probably just literally grab them out of my shed. We have cups at church. 2 years ago, one of our volunteers for sure did the planting activity because my daughter was in her class. And so my daughter came home with a cup of soil, and we diligently took care of it, and it sprouted into wildflowers. And actually, I planted it outside, and it's been perennial. So I was able to discover flaxseed, or the Colorado flax flower, which is beautiful, based on what a teacher did with this particular lesson. So it's cool if you feel like you have the bandwidth to do planting. But again, there's those other options as well. So I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.